Welcome to TechbrothersIT. In this video, we are going to learn how to do cross-databases queries in Postgres GCP SQL instance. So here is an example that I just put for a SQL server, not for the Postgres, because you can't really do fully qualified names and queries in the Postgres. So if you are using a SQL server, you will be saying select asterisk from your database name dot DBO schema and then a table name and union all. So you can go ahead and say select asterisk from another database, sales Asia, and then maybe using the schema public and then a table Asia sale. Now if you run this one, it should just simply run fine if you are in maybe SQL Server, but does not happen in the Postgres GCP SQL. What we would like to do, we would like to select the data from two tables and represent by the single query. You can also use in the joins, but here I'm using for union. So let's go ahead and see how we can select the data from different databases and display in the single database or cross database query. Now first of all, I'm going to go ahead and show you right here what I have. I have different SQL instances created, and I'm going to use this one TBIT SQL. Now I just click right there, and if you are curious how to install GCP Postgres SQL instance, I have many videos on that. Now you go to the overview here, and then we have a public IP. I'm going to copy this IP here and then open pgadmin. This is a tool I would use to connect to the Postgres SQL instance. Now I will right click here, register, and click to the register server, and I'm gonna give the name TBIT and SQL or PostgreSQL, whatever you want to name it. And here I will use the username Postgres and the password that I provided at time of installation or creating my TBIT SQL instance. Now it is connected now, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and right click on Postgres database and go to the query tools. And the next part, what we will do, we will go to this notepad here, and I have all the queries written already, and I will show you step by step. Now first of all, let's just paste the queries here, and the very first step we have is creating two databases. So I'm going to create sales underscore Asia database and execute, and now I will go ahead and create the database called sales underscore Europe. Now let's refresh this database tabs here, and now we have a sales underscore Asia and sales underscore Europe. We will create a separate tables in each of them and then use the union query. I'm going to go ahead and right click on the Europe and say new query or tool, and let me do the same thing to the sales Asia. I'm going to go ahead and say query tool, and now it will be opening two sessions for our PostgreSQL. Here, let's copy this information here. So remember, here it is creating Asia table. That means we have to go to the sales Asia tab here. Okay, let's paste it here, and I'm going to create this table called Asia sale. And here is my name, and ID is 1. So go ahead and create this table and select the data. Okay, so we see right there data ID 1, name Amir, and region Asia. Now let's go ahead and create another table in sales Europe. I'm going to copy this here, go to the sale Europe, paste it here, and then we will be creating table here, and then we'll insert the data into the Europe sale table right there, and now we can go ahead and see the data in the Europe sale table. You can see that the ID is 2 and the name is Lisa, and she lives in region Europe. That's great. Now let's go to the sale Asia here, and let me copy the entire other queries there so that we will use. I'm gonna go ahead and copy this one all the way here and go to the sale Asia, and here let's do a few things. So if you notice here, if I will go ahead and even provide the fully qualified name here, now sales Asia and sales Europe, let's say sales underscore Asia, sales dot underscore, sorry, Asia dot public dot this database. So if you see, if I will try to run it, I'm seeing this database here, right? Now if I will do here sales underscore Europe dot public, so if I will execute this, let's see what happened here. And notice here it is saying that cross database reference are not implemented, so you can't really run this query. So we are in sales Asia and we cannot execute the select query for the table which is in a sale Europe, even we have to provide the fully qualified name. To do so, what we have to do, we have to follow some steps. So first of all, I'm going to take this set of queries, and we need to create this foreign user in Europe. We'll use that later for mapping, and you will go ahead and create this user with password maybe 123, whatever you want to do it, and then we'll give a usage on the public schema to this user. So, okay, so do that, and now we that is granted. Now we grant select on this Europe sale table to this user. Okay, and we are in the sales Europe database. Okay, now we go back to the sales Asia. Let's select a list of tables which has the sales in that. So you see right there, there is only one base table. Once we are done with the setup, we should see two records here, one with the base table, one with the foreign. Okay, to have that cross database queries running, we have to create this extension. So we are going to go ahead and say create extension Postgres underscore FTW, and then extension will be created. And now what I will do, I will select from the PG underscore extension table, and you can see right there the extension is created. So right here. Okay, now next part is we are going to create the foreign server. Even we are on the same server, if you notice that we are on the same SQL instance, we have to create this foreign server pointing to the same server IP, and then that will help to help us to query the sales Europe database tables. So what we are going to do here, first of all, I need the IP of that server. Okay, so the query is create server, and whatever the name you want to provide. In my case, I'm saying secondary DB server, and the foreign data wrapper Postgres FTW, that's extension right there, and with the option host is equal to this, port is equal to this, DB is equal to this. Now I'm going to go back here, and I'm going to copy this public IP here, and then we'll go back to the PG admin, and here we will update. So let's go ahead and create this foreign data wrapper or server, and you can see that create server is done, and we can take a look if the foreign server is created. So you can see right there the foreign server is created, and here are the server points. You can see the IP, you can see the port, and you can see the database. Now next part is creating a user mapping. So we'll say create user mapping for Postgres, as I'm connected with the Postgres user, and I would like to query between two tables, Sale Asia and Sale Europe, by using the Postgres. If you are using different user, you can always provide that user here, and then that user will be used when you will connect with that user. You will be able to query. In my case, I'm going to use Postgres. So this user server on this for that our foreign server, that's I gave the name secondary DB server option, and tell the user that you have created. Remember that in the sale Europe we have created this user and provided the select permission on the Europe sale table. So we are going to use this to create the user mapping. Now I'm going to go ahead and execute. Now create user mapping is done. If I want to see the mapping, I'm going to go ahead and execute, and it is going to show me the mapping, and you can see that server name here, you can see the user, and you can see the other information such as the username and password, whatever. Now what we'll do, grant a local user access to the foreign data wrapper. That's what we are going to do. So we are going to say grant usage on foreign server, that's our server name, to the Postgres, that's our username. Remember here we created that mapping. So if you are using different user here, you have to provide the same user. In my case, I'm using Postgres user, so I'm fine with that. Now our grant is done, and our final step is import the foreign schema or tables. So it is import foreign schema public limit to only this table. So and then from server secondary DB server, that's our foreign server, into public. So if I do that, it's going to import the schema. So now that should be done. Import foreign schema. So now we all done here. Remember that when we ran this query first time, we were only seeing one table, and it's called the base table because that was inside the sale Asia. And you see right there is a sale Europe table now with the foreign. That means that's coming from the other database. Okay, that's great. Now we are gonna go ahead and execute the query. Now if you notice here, we are in the sale Asia, and I can simply go ahead and execute sale Asia table queries without any problem. But last time when I was creating that running this query, and it was giving me trouble. Now even I did not provide the database name. It is I'm able to query this Europe sale table because remember here we provided a database, so I don't have to provide a database name with the here, and this is the table coming from this database. So now if I have to join, or I have to union, or whatever I want to do, I can simply go ahead and execute this query, and this is returning me results from the table called Europe sale that's in my database called sales Europe, and then I'm in the database session sale Asia, and I can query actually this table from the different database. So this is how you will do cross database queries in Postgres GCP SQL instance. But remember, this all step has to be done. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and take this entire script and put in the description, so you can use from there. So this was just to create these tables and database and all that, and actual work start from here. So follow all these step by step, and you will be just fine after you complete this entire process, and you will be able to query across the databases different tables. So here if you want to see, this is what this table, see right there, sales Europe, and that's in also I don't know, I never actually explored this one. Here's, let's see if with the here you see right there in the sales area, if you can go ahead and see right there, it's called foreign server, and this is like your linked server that you created inside your same database server. So you can see right there user mapping is right there, and the Postgres, so if it has some information there, you can always update or alter this information if you need to. And this is how it will work. Thank you very much for watching. I hope this video will help, and I will see you guys in next video.